Apple, a company synonymous with innovation, design and control. But what if Apple made one monumental decision that could unravel the very foundation of their empire? Imagine a world where Apple opens up its ecosystem, and I mean fully opens up the ecosystem. A place where iPhones and Android phones work together like best friends, and being in that ecosystem is no longer seen as a walled garden. Some might say this scenario sounds great, right? But the consequences might be anything but. To understand why this would be such a big deal, let's break down what makes Apple, well, Apple. Apple's ecosystem is designed to work seamlessly. Your iPhone syncs with your AirPods, which automatically connects to your MacBook, and all your photos are just there in iCloud on all of those devices. No fiddling, no frustration. It just works, or at least that's the promise. For most users, it's not just about the hardware. It's that seamless experience that keeps them coming back. I know when I get a new iPhone that generally my day-to-day experience isn't going to change. I'll mostly restore the new phone to look like the old phone, and I'll have used beta versions of the new iOS system so that I'm familiar with Apple's latest software offerings. But overall, for most users, the differences between those annual hardware or software updates aren't going to have a meaningful impact on usage. But as long as it's slightly better than your previous phone, for some, that's all that matters. But it's not just about simplicity, it's also about being part of a club. Apple's ecosystem is a walled garden, seen as this beautiful, curated space where everything just fits perfectly. And for most, it does exactly this. But as we know, walls don't just keep things in, they also keep things out. That exclusivity is what makes Apple products feel premium, even when they're not necessarily offering anything others can't. If Apple opens up its ecosystem, that sense of exclusivity could just disappear. Suddenly your iPhone is just another device in a crowded world of devices that are all competing with each other. It will no longer be a statement piece. And then there's loyalty. Apple's customers aren't just users. Let's be honest, we're devotees, fanboys, or as some people call us, sheep. Many have been with Apple for years, upgrading from one device to the next, not because they have to, but because they want to. And it's this loyalty that's rooted in the ecosystem's convenience and the belief that Apple products are worth the premium. I've had Android phones in the past, and they were good phones for me at the time. But now, with how I'm currently using the features that those devices within the ecosystem give me for the last 5 years, there has been no real need to go for anything other than an iPhone. Now, there are a lot of people that like Apple's control over their ecosystem. This is what keeps people locked in, and as a benefit to Apple, keeps their profits soaring. So what happens if Apple opens up? Consumers get more freedom, developers get more options, and regulators finally breathe a sigh of relief. But here's the catch. In the process, Apple could lose the very things that make it successful. Its control, its exclusivity, and that paralleled ability to monetize its ecosystem. In the modern world of business, where money and success is everything, as those companies at the top of the pyramid trying to find more ways to reach new heights with new products that attract new customers that lead to increased revenue, is letting go of that stranglehold of dominance something a company like Apple would ever want to relinquish. We all know Apple's ecosystem is its crown jewel. It's why people buy an iPhone, then an Apple Watch, then AirPods, and then finally a MacBook, or in any order. Anything that works together in harmony, making life simpler for users. But if Apple opens up more, and remember they've already been loosening their grip a little bit after being forced to by regulations, things like letting third-party app stores, cross-platform messaging, and easily repairable devices into the mix, but does going even further risk breaking that harmony even more? When you let outside elements into a controlled ecosystem, compatibility issues and complexity inevitably follow. Apple would go from this seamless experience to something messier that's almost Android-like, and that's exactly what they've spent decades avoiding. Now, Apple isn't just this tech company, it's a status symbol. Owning an iPhone means more than just having a good phone. It's about being part of something exclusive. Although I don't know how much of having a phone that tens of millions of people around the world also have makes it exclusive. But it's something that it just does. But it's that mindset of why people are willing to pay more for Apple products. Some people get them because it's what their friends are using and they're all chatting through iMessage and don't want to be left out, or they're subconsciously subconsciously pumped with adverts saying, buy this iPhone now for the latest technology with Apple Intelligence. And once again, don't want to be left out. But if Apple becomes more open, that premium allure fades. Apple's business model relies heavily on its closed system. The App Store alone generates tens of billions of dollars in revenue thanks to the commission rate that Apple takes from app sales and subscriptions. And just imagine if Apple were to open up its ecosystem, that revenue stream would take a direct hit. While they would still make money from hardware, losing control over services could shrink their margins, and that's something shareholders won't take lightly. For users, an open Apple would be life-changing. Imagine being able to send iMessages to Android users without the fear of that green bubble ruining your group chat. But I'm sure the way that Apple would do it, they'd still be that dynamic. Or downloading apps from alternative stores that offer better deals, or repairing your iPhone at home with affordable third-party parts. It's the kind of freedom tech enthusiasts have been dreaming of for years. For app developers, Apple's openness would mean lower fees and fewer restrictions. Small businesses and indie developers in particular would finally be able to compete on a more level playing field. No more giving Apple a percentage of every subscription fee, or probably not as high a percentage. Regulators, especially in the EU and the US, would likely applaud this move. Apple's closed ecosystem has been a target for years, with lawmakers accusing them of stifling competition. An open Apple would resolve antitrust concerns and show that the company is willing to play fair in the global market. Google would likely lean into its strengths, openness and integration. They'd push RCS even harder, finally erasing that green bubble stigma. They'd also leverage Android's flexibility to compete directly with Apple's newly open ecosystem. Samsung, meanwhile, has its own semi-dependent ecosystem with Galaxy devices and SmartThings. If Apple opens up, Samsung could focus on improving its integration with Windows PCs and offer features that match or surpass Apple's, while emphasizing that their platform has been open all along. So, should Apple open up? It might make life easier for consumers and developers while keeping regulators happy. But for Apple itself, the risks are enormous. Losing control of their ecosystem could cost them their brand identity, their financial edge, and their ability to dictate the tech industry's future. I think I'd rather Apple stay as it is, because I like the fact that the way that Apple is, I'm a fan of that, and I'm a firm believer that if you want choice, just go to Android. There's your choice. Would you trade in Apple's exclusivity for more openness? Let me know in the comments below. Because whether you're Team Apple or Team Android, or just here for the debate, there's always more to discuss. If you enjoyed this dive into Apple's potential future, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.